All right, welcome to video number 4 in this particular section, 4.5. We're working through some tips to solving exponential and logarithmic equations. We've already done tips 1, 2, and 3, and we've also talked about tip number 5 by checking that my solution always is in the domain. So let's finish this up by going to tip number 4. This should be a pretty short video, and then I'm going to do one more video in this section that just has some extra examples in it. All right, so in this particular tip, we're looking at a more complicated equation, something like this right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use exponential properties to be able to solve. And then once we get the exponential properties taken care of, hopefully it'll be in one of these three formats so that we can go back and use either format 1, 2, or 3. So I want you to go down, please, with me to example 3, part B. And it looks very similar, so we want to solve the equation and we want to give our solutions to the nearest thousandth. So the very first thing that we're going to do is remember that rule that says whenever you multiply like bases, you add powers. And I've written the generic rule right here. So multiplying like bases, you add your powers. So the first thing that you notice that I did was I'm just adding my power of 4x to my power of x minus 1. And we'll go ahead and get like terms combined there. And so I have e raised to the 5x minus 1 is equal to 5 times e. These are not quite like bases. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide on both sides by e, or e to the first power. And then I can use a rule that's very similar to this rule right here, but instead of multiplying like bases, now notice we are dividing like bases. And when we divide like bases, we subtract our powers. So I'll take the power that's on top, 5x minus 1, minus the power on bottom, which is just a 1. Combine our like terms. And we have e raised to the 5x minus 2 is equal to 5. All right, so now this looks like my very first option in my gray box, where my power is in my unknown. And I can either get bases alike, which is not possible in this case, or I can log both sides. So I'm going to log both sides, and since I have e's in my question, I'm going to use the natural log. So we log both sides, then we can use our power rule. And so, and remember, folks, this is a rule that we looked at it's the very last rule. It's the very last theorem in section 4.3. So pull up your notes and you'll see that theorem right there if you're not understanding how I did what I did. And then we will add 2 and divide by 5 to get x alone. Let's go back and look at the directions. We were asked to give our solution to the nearest thousandth. And so this is a good exact solution, but I wasn't asked for an exact solution. I was asked for an approximation. So we'll throw it into the calculator and you'll get 0.722. Like I said, this is a really short video. Stay tuned. I'm going to do one more video in this section that's just going to have the extra examples in it.